It's really odd in public because Jubilee will come up and talk to me and people will be like, why does she keep talking to you? And I'm like, she's my sister, can't you tell? They can't tell.
I was from Ethiopia and they picked me up 13 months when I was 13 months.
I was adopted from Kunming in Yunnan in 1994 to a white American family.
I have white parents and grew up in a predominantly white city and didn't meet my birth parents until I was 26 years old. I work in the adoption field both as a director of post-adoption services and as a creator of media that really centers the adoptee voices.
We have 6 children, 4 who are biological, 1 who is adopted from Ethiopia, 1 who is adopted from China. We will be heading to South America to complete the adoption of 2 of our sons.
American has adopted more children internationally than any other country in the world. I'm an anthropologist. I am also part of the adoption community. We adopted our daughter from China.
So what motivates us to adopt? It's kind of a multifaceted answer.
What?
My mom was adopted, my uncle was adopted, my grandfather was adopted. So the language of adoption was kind of woven throughout my childhood. Personally, and this isn't everyone's answer, but it is our answer, we do really try to follow Jesus.
Jesus' command is to go, and we found ourselves in many different nations, and while we were doing that, we found ourselves in many different orphanages. You're praying for these children, but maybe I'm part of that answer of that prayer.
Levi has severe intellectual delays. So he functions on about a 2.5-year-old level. The statistics of him having gotten adopted were about less than 1%. So we just felt like for our family, if we could adopt him, then we should adopt him.
We adopted our daughter from China in 2000. She was in our Social Welfare Institute in Hunan Province near Changsha in Shangtan, which was the birthplace of Mao. I had suffered many miscarriages, and we were both older parents, and we had divorces. And so for those reasons, we chose to adopt.
I don't think it's necessarily a here versus staying in their own country question, as in the circumstances that they were in.
It's not a matter of by them coming to America, they will be better off, although many people think that. It's just that we can offer them a family and a support system, and that is something that they lacked before.
There's kind of a very American cultural belief that we can make it happen. We will be able to achieve this. There's kind of a rose-colored glasses view of being able to mold a baby or mold a child, even if the child may appear to have issues. But we can change that as individuals.
Since society views adoption in such a positive lens that people would often say, your parents are saints. Okay, yeah, my parents are good, but the adoption wasn't the best thing, but why are they being praised so much for taking care of me? Like, did I need rescuing? Was I that bad off? Many adoptees struggle with that, and it leads to some mental health troubles.
I think if more services that were geared toward adoptees that were helpful and not profitable, then maybe adoptees would have a better sense of security in themselves.
What appeared to be practices that were charitable, that were in the interest of children's rights and so forth, were not as transparent as they had initially seen. A number of baby trafficking rings were uncovered in different countries. That was also part of what was taking place in China. In many cases, women were threatened to give up their children or offered money to give up their children in order to satisfy the demand internationally. There has been much more attention now being paid to the conditions in which international adoption takes place. Within China itself, there's been a demographic crisis. They have relaxed their one-child policy. Therefore, there are many fewer children for adoption. Most of them have special needs now, and for the first time, more boys than girls are being adopted from China.
The 20-year-old me would have said, everyone needs to be adopting. And my answer has changed. Not everyone is called to adopt. Kids come with such a vast variety of needs that it completely alters your life forever. The pre-adoptive family never exists again.
The one thing that everyone can do is be involved in an adoption. Come alongside a family, support them through that process, and get to see it. Become aware of the needs that are available in different countries, and start to invest in sponsorship, sponsoring children to be able to stay in those countries with their families, and let that adoption seed grow from there.
I wouldn't wish anyone to be an adoptee. I don't wish that upon anyone. I know that birth parents don't grow up thinking I'm gonna choose adoption for my kid, and I feel the same as an adoptee, that it is inherently traumatic to be separated from your roots, from your culture.
Even the idea around people talking about grandbabies or nephews or nieces and how everyone looks so similar, has little traits, or the fact that people say, oh, you know, so-and-so has so-and-so's nose and so-and-so has so-and-so's mindset or temperament or things like that is very triggering to adoptees.
One day I went to visit Ethiopia to see my birth parents and my sister. But I want to do that when I'm a little older, so like I get money and everything.
I started my search for my birth family back in 2011. I don't want to accept that as the only answer, that I was abandoned. I do believe if my mom carried me for up to 9 months and then also got to know me for a few months and then I left her, she had to have some love for me. I want to know that they know that I'm okay. And I want them to know that I have grown up, I've gone to school, I've made all these, you know, milestones in my life, and that they can feel at peace with their, not necessarily the decision, right? Because maybe the decision was made without their knowledge or consent, but that they can feel just happy for me for who I've become right now.
Thanks so much for watching. 要是你喜欢我们今天的视频，别忘记转发、评论、点赞、关注、打开通知。我们还想问问你们，你们在未来还想看哪些话题？可以在评论里告诉我们。We will see you next time. Bye.